He's being put back into a similar role that he had when he was with Golden State. Ime Udoka and Fred VanVleet, they're the leaders. They're the heart. They're the emotional strength of the team. That won't be KD's job. If he can win one outside of Golden State and become a 3-time NBA champion, it will help legitimize his first 2 rings. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with wanting to see KD win another ring without joining the best team of all time. All rings aren't the same. And welcome back to Mischief Entertainment, man. If you clicked on the video, you know you're watching MVP Sports, man. And we're going to talk about the Kevin Durant trade. So we're going to start the video by breaking down why this was the best possible trade outcome for Kevin Durant. And then at the very end, we're going to talk about what our expectations should be for this team and his possible, legacy ramifications depending on how things turn out with this team. And that's going to be at the very end, man. But we're going to start off by breaking down why this was the best possible trade outcome for Kevin Durant. Now, the reason I think this was the best possible trade outcome for Kevin Durant is because he's in another situation just like he was with the Golden State Warriors, which is the only time Kevin Durant has been able to win championship rings. We're going to go from coaching, we're going to talk about the leadership aspect of it, and then we're going to talk about the whole makeup of the roster and why I say this is the best possible trade outcome for Kevin Durant and why I feel like he's in the exact same situation he was when he was in Golden State. Now, coaching is always a big part of it. And as far as coaching, outside of Steve Kerr and Monty Williams, who as far as coaching ability, I got Monty Williams tied with Ime Udoka. This will be the best coach that KD has ever played with. Ime Udoka is one of the best coaches in the league. And on top of having an NBA Finals appearance, he's helped turn around the Rockets in their rebuild. Listen, he's a better coach than Steve Nash. He's a better coach than Jack Vaughn, Scott Brooks, and Frank Vogel. And I like Mike Budenholzer, but come on. This season was clouded with controversy from the start, and the Suns weren't a good team at all. We knew this. We knew this from the start. And listen, I also like Frank Vogel, also an NBA champion, but he was past his coaching prime, and we all knew that. We knew he was past his coaching prime. KD's going into a situation with an established coach who is a culture builder. Outside of Steve Kerr, this will be the best coach that KD has ever played for. Ime Udoka is a tactician. The way he builds culture, the way he walks around the court and demands respect. This will be one of the best coaches KD has ever played for. And he's going into a situation just like Golden State where the coach is already established. They're not going to bring in a new coach. This isn't like Brooklyn. And he is a better coach than Scott Brooks when KD was with the Thunder. This will be one of the best coaches KD has played for outside of Steve Kerr. I love it. I love it. And then next on the list, man, we got to talk about the leadership aspect of it. And KD's leadership style is always a controversy and it always brings up critics and always brings up a lot of comments. He doesn't have to be the leader or number one option on the Rockets. He doesn't. One of the biggest things, in my opinion, that gets in KD's greatness is his own leadership ability. I've talked about it. With the Rockets, he doesn't need to be a traditional leader. And that's why I love the trade. It's also why I love the trade. He's not there necessarily to be the leader or number one option. He's brought in to be a great scorer and weapon during late games. That's exactly what his role was with the Warriors, to put them over the top talent-wise and to come in and be a great scorer and weapon. When he was a traditional leader, it didn't work out. OKC, Brooklyn, Phoenix, it didn't work out. He's being put back into a similar role that he had when he was with Golden State. Ime Udoka and Fred VanVleet, they're the leaders. They're the heart. They're the emotional strength of the team. That won't be KD's job. KD will get to do what he always says he likes to do, which is just come in and play basketball. For the coming season with the Rockets, he won't be needed to be a traditional leader. He can play that role that he wants to play and just be a great scorer and weapon, just like he was with Golden State. And next, after the leadership aspect of it, the roster makeup. Listen, now, I feel like you could definitely compare this team to that Kawhi Leonard's Raptors team. You could do that. Kawhi Leonard came in, a good team, already established team, established coach. He just comes in to put them over the top. You can definitely compare KD's situation to that situation. But I will argue that if you look at the big three of the Warriors and you look at the big three of the Rockets, they can be the poor man's Warriors. Fred VanVleet is a poor man's Curry. Amen Thompson is a poor man's Klay Thompson. And Alperian Sengun is a poor man's Draymond Green. Fred VanVleet is a small, crafty guard with good ball handling, playmaking, shot creation, and three-point shooting. The worst part of his game is his defense, and that's mostly because of his size. That sounds awfully like Steph Curry. And again, he's a poor man's Curry, and I know I'm comparing him to Curry, and that's why I'm saying poor man's Curry. Amen Thompson is a two-way hustle effort player who doesn't need to have the ball to have an impact on the game. While Klay Thompson can shoot a lot better than Amen Thompson, I would say Amen Thompson has a lot more athleticism than Klay Thompson. And I hope y'all can see the comparison. He's that two-way shooting guard, just like Klay Thompson was for the Warriors. And again, he's a poor man's Klay Thompson. Sengun is a big body, big, who rebounds, playmakes, and plays great defense and who can shoot the three. I would say Draymond Green is a better defender, but as far as height and rebounding and three-point shooting, I'm going to give Sengun the edge. And oh yeah, Sengun can play make just like Draymond Green. He can catch the rebound and bring it up the court just like Draymond Green. He can catch the rebound and throw a great outlet pass just like Draymond Green. And that's the comparison. He's a poor man's Draymond Green. It was a great trade. And this is going to be the second best team that KD has ever played on, outside of Golden State. And I understand OKC went to the finals, but that was in KD's prime, him willing the team there. When you look at the makeup of the Rockets, I feel like this really will be the second best team that KD has ever played for. Brooklyn, controversy. Controversy from the start. Not set up in the way that would help KD succeed. He couldn't be in the leadership role that he wanted to be in. The Phoenix Suns. I always thought they were a little bit overrated. People very early on want to compare Devin Booker to Kobe Bryant. And Devin Booker is not Kobe Bryant. Bradley Beal comes in later, very injury prone, very much seeming like he's past his prime. And then it gets clouded with controversy too. This will be the second best team that KD has ever played on. And I know when you look at the greatness of the Warriors with KD, it may be hard to see that comparison. So if it helps, try thinking about Kawhi Leonard with the Raptors. How he came in. Established team, established coach. He was just there to take them over the top. He was brought in to be a weapon. He was brought in to be better than DeMar DeRozan. KD's being brought in to be better than Jalen Green. And I know he can do that. Now, that's all the reasons why I think this will be the second greatest team that KD has ever played on. Let's get to the expectation and the legacy ramifications part of it. First, the expectations. The Rockets just finished with the fourth best record in the league and the second overall in the Western Conference. So outside of injuries, I think it's fair to expect them to make at least a second round appearance. If the Rockets miss the playoffs or lose in the first round multiple years, I think it will be fair to look at KD and the Rockets and go, dang, we were supposed to get more than that. Again, this is to the very least a second round appearance. I get KD's age and all of that, but with the greatness of KD, And with what the Rockets did this year, I don't see any reason why he can't help them get at least to the second round, maybe third round, multiple years in a row. As far as legacy, I don't think all rings are the same. So as far as like the GOAT conversation, getting a ring with the Rockets will help KD tremendously. KD signed to the Golden State Warriors, a team he was up 3-1 on. On top of that, the Warriors had just broke Michael Jordan and the Bulls' regular season record, making them the greatest regular season team ever. And then on top of that, Steph Curry had just won the first and only unanimous MVP. The amount of help that KD needed to win rings is damning to his career and his legacy. If he can win one outside of Golden State and become a 3-time NBA champion, it will help legitimize his first 2 rings. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with wanting to see KD win another ring without joining the best team of all time. All rings aren't the same. Dirk's rings are worth more. Giannis' ring is worth more. Joker's ring is worth more. SGA, who just won a ring, is worth more. Chauncey Billups' ring is worth more. They all won 1. KD has 2, but theirs is worth more. It sucks for KD, but this is what happens when you sign to the best team in the league. Get another ring, KD, and it does great things for your legacy. Listen, good luck to you. You're on a great team. You're already a Hall of Famer. You know, you just basically add an icing on top. And again, good luck. But that's the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We out.